Butch and Hoppy pick up all the ballots in New Hampshire.
I'm surprised they weren't named Sharky or something. And of course, again, they told the public it was state police.
Yes, they did tell the public, and the town clerk told it was. Well, there was one state policeman following them. A real fairly surly guy, at least in the initial stages of this. And so I wanted to see what the ballots look like when Butch and Hoppy take them off the truck. Well, sure enough, they not only had seals in them, some of them weren't even closed. They had the box top open. And, it's big gashes of tears in them. That's also going to be in the videotape on YouTube this afternoon. And, this stuff is, you just can't make this up.
And then they wouldn't store it in the locked vault where by law they're supposed to. And
well,
there's a big, well, stay there. We got a break. Bev Harris, we're going to come back and play a minute or two of the audio of that video that's up on prisonplanet.com and blackboxvoting.org. And continue talking to Bev Harris, our bulldog in there going at the throat of the New World Order, exposing the fact that these elections are an absolute fraud. Bev Harris, so bring it down to the line. Tell us what happened, this video. We're going to play some audio of it where you're out there. And, I mean, break down the fact that they wouldn't even put it in the vault. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me set that up for you. Basically, we decided after seeing this decrepit condition of the boxes, stick your hand in, removable labels, that we wanted to see them coming out of the van when they delivered them. Well, they came out of the van with, opened up. So then we decided, let's follow the van and see what condition they're in when they are actually at the town being picked up. Well, that's when things got very squirrely, because when we went to the towns, they were in pristine condition. They were in excellent condition. They were taped up. They were sealed. So we videotaped these guys, Butch and Hoppy, picking up these lovely boxes. They knew we had video that the boxes were not cut open, right?
And then when they get there, they're cut open and ripped open.
No. Right. They knew they couldn't. So we waited and waited for them to deliver the boxes.
Let me be clear, though. Let me stop you, though. But you did see them before they knew that, with them cut open, busted open. Then once you're watching them, that stops happening.
Exactly. So that's exactly right. We watch them. They see us videotaping the boxes. Well, they can't very well deliver them with slips in them. And sure enough, they deliver them. They were the great delay. They waited for everyone to go home. They waited till after dark. We wouldn't leave. So we videotape them. They come out of the truck. They're sealed up still. They're in good condition. That's the night they decided, well, we're not going to put these lovely, pristine, excellent boxes in the vault tonight. You see, I think the reason they didn't put them in the vault that night was because they couldn't get at them before they delivered them.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to be clear, because we're going to write an article about this, Bev. How many towns had they already picked up before, and then the boxes are all ripped open, slits in them, torn open, and then how many towns after were you able to follow them when the boxes were pristine?
Well, the towns before were the big population centers. Nashua was particularly ripped up. Nashua had the lids open, boxes kept open. It's a big town. Manchester, some of them were ripped open, and Manchester had some other anomalies, so it won't get into all the details. But the bigger population centers were the first ones they picked up, and those were the ones that had the rips in that we saw.
No, give us the other anomalies.
Oh, well, Manchester, they pick up all the boxes, and then we got the dispatch sheets. Of course, they don't like when you do that. So we were comparing their route. Well, Manchester Ward 11, they have these different wards. It's like precincts. And Ward 11, they delivered part of it in the morning, but then they delivered part of it about 8 hours later. Back door. Now, this is what's so strange is they have this, obviously it was in the van, because the van shows up, the dispatch sheet shows them delivering all the boxes in public at the front door, signed off by like 3 officials, except for one, Manchester Ward 11, which was taken to the back of the building and signed off by a different lady. And why is that? I don't know. But these kinds of things.
So the big towns have been ripped open and slits in them, and then once you start watching with the other town pickups, they're pristine and the locals have done their job.
Right, exactly.
Which is the way it always works. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so, it says, the locals are good. I mean, and I'm waiting, I'm telling you, we're putting these pictures and these videos on the web. I'm waiting for a local to go, hey, wait a minute, that's not the box I sent. I can hardly wait for that to happen because I think it will happen.
And we need them to contact you at blackboxvoting.org when that happens. This is a team effort.
Actually, I think they should go directly to the FBI as well.
Now again, Bev, let me hold you over because I've got to ask a few more questions. I just want to point out here, my listeners predominantly help raise the money. Mr. Howard takes action. You take action. There's people on the ground watching. This is a team effort together. People say, well, why do you still vote if there's fraud? Because we're going to prove the fraud. We have to continue to engage the enemy to learn their operations. Bev, go ahead.
Right. And it's so interesting you mentioned about the Republican recount. There was 2 recounts. One was for the Democrat, for candidate Dennis Kucinich. One was for the Republican. And I can resume this at the end of the commercial if you need me to.
Yeah. Just do like 5 more minutes on the other side, Bev. I know you've got to go, and you're still there in New Hampshire battling with these people. And there'll be huge reports up on PrisonPlanet.com and BlackBoxVoting.com this evening. This is a 10-alarm fire. Call all the riders. Batten down the hatches. InfoWars listeners, get ready to go crazy with this report. Ram it through the sensors. Where's McGarrett when you need him? He'd get in there and stop all this fraud. Yeah, I'm pretty excited right now because Bev doesn't play games. They help send people to jail in Ohio. There in the break, she just told me it's red-handed. Tell us, Bev, you're saying now we can officially say the money should all be refunded to the Democrat and Republicans that paid for this, that the recount was not a good one, and you're saying that something's rotten in the state of Denmark, and I'll tell you right now, it's red-handed fraud. Bev, break it down, give us the final analysis.
Yeah, the money should be refunded by the Secretary of State. He should resign, so should David Scanlon. I mean, it's that bad there. Dennis Kucinich aborted his recount halfway through because he said there was, the chain of custody was a mess. There were anomalies all over the place, and he kind of basically said, what's the point? I'm glad that Albert Howard has continued to push because they're playing all kinds of games with him, and to the extent that they were going to try to cancel the recount as of tomorrow for a few days, for what we don't know, and he objected to that. He's holding his own really well. I'm just really impressed with this guy, and but they seem to be quite reluctant to go up north and pick up all those little tiny towns and bring them in with people following their van, which, by the way, is what needs to happen. Anybody can get to New Hampshire and follow them from start to finish.
Yeah, they're trying to wait. They're trying to wait till the heat's off them. Now, finish up with what happened. You're there with the Secretary of State, all of them in the night, going, hey, we want you to put these in the vault. They just go, trust us. We'll leave them right here in the office. Everything's fine.
Well, they put a Post-it note on the door, across the 2 doors, so, nobody could possibly take the Post-it note off and go in and put it back on again, right? Yeah, it's simply every way that it could break down, it seemed to be broken down, and even to the extent of just not following procedure. Procedures for chain of custody are all she wrote. They're all the marbles. If you don't follow chain of custody procedures, you might as well just say, let's not even do a recount. They also were opening the Republican ballot boxes with no Republican person there or even notified that they were going to open them. They brought them into the Democratic recount and started opening them up and putting the new boxes and sticking them back, in the warehouse. And I was just like, how can you do this? You haven't even told the Republican candidate that you're taking his ballots and toting them around the state and opening them up and doing stuff. Nobody's even here to witness for him. And it was this, what's your procedure? Oh, we don't have a procedure. Well, come on now. How can you say that you can open someone's ballot boxes without them present? What is that? And it was pretty much this way all along the route. I mean, you have what's really needed now that I think could really put the nail in their coffin. Albert Howard, the Republican candidate, is requesting that he be able to select the towns that they go to next. Secretary of State said, no, we'd like to select the towns. Well, we can figure that one out. He's saying, no, I want to select the towns that you get next. And then if people follow that van the whole way, all the way till they drop it off, and then the next thing Albert Howard's folks are saying is, and we'd like you to count those, before you take them anywhere, put them in the vault or anything else, just bring them into the room and count them on the spot. Now, that would be very interesting.
What are they saying about that?
No, they don't want to do that.
Oh. Now, you were a corporate fraud investigator before you got into all this. I mean, watching the videos of those guys' faces, they look guilty as Hades.
Their body language is pretty revealing.